Now, another thing you got to consider, and this is the point, if these guys wasn't doing this crazy stuff with guns in the first place, you wouldn't have to ban them, right? But yet, for some reason, these idiots are telling you they're wanting to do something, right? But you play dumb. I know. Someone knows this kid was going off, right? And let him buy a gun, right? And yet, it's not everybody. I know that's 18, right? Either. They're called lone wolves for a reason. I know. Usually, right? Unlike me, they're not forced to be alone either, right? They're choosing to isolate themselves and get mad at their bullies. I'm not mad with my bullies. I just teach you how to tolerate it, right? Because that's what you got to do, right? Whether in junior high or high school or in adult life, right? People are going to bully you sometimes. That's just in their workup, right? They don't know how to be nice, right? And they don't want to be nice, right? And as long as it's words, right? And you don't lay your hands on me, you're all right, right? You got to lay your hands on me for me to retaliate the first, right? And I don't carry a gun at all, right? My God said, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper anyway." Not that that gives you a right to find out or try and shoot me or anyone for no cause, right? Going into the nail salon alone ain't a cause for me to black out in the store. No matter how I blacked out in the store, right? But again, I don't care if you change the age to 21 either. No. That won't affect me none, right? Now, what might stop me from buying a gun, though, is if you do mental illness background checks. And see, that might would stop me, right, from buying a gun, right? Not that I want one, not that you ever want one. The worst I had was a pellet gun or a BB gun, right? That's the worst I ever owned. And I think I might have shot a grasshopper once, and I think I might have mentioned that in my original blog on Angel Fire, right? And again, I did take a, little bit of marijuana, but I think I didn't inhale it right? Like Clinton. But anyway, I know you're going to do what you think is right about it. I ain't saying that either, right? But not everybody is doing this, right? You're just using this guy's age at 18, right? And not seeking help for what's going on with him because you stigmatize mentally ill people too. Yes, you do. You don't give us a chance to even get better, right? And see, the problem with the doctors is, again, right? My behavior is just that normal behavior. Even with the kind of accidents, right? I hear voices, I have a bad ankle and pelvis, right? And, if I'm in a stick or any vehicle, right? I do know the traffic laws, but sometimes I guess that don't matter, right? Especially when there's a gray area there of pulling out so far in the left-hand lane, but not going into the other person's lane. I thought that was how much room I had. I'm sorry, right? I even do it near Food Line when I'm trying to pull out from across the street on 30, heading back home, right? But I don't pull all the way out. No one does, so no. But the difference is there I have more of a way to pull out. I have more room. No, you do. And see, whatever Officer Martin and the bus driver want to say, they were the ones that fought there, in my opinion. Both of them. But then it's 2-1. Then it's 2-1. Right, all right. And people can bear false witness, especially if there's more than one. And I'm alone because I'm just going up to Charleston for a CMP, right? I'm not even in a hurry. She might have been. She might have been. But not me. But not you. And see, again, if you done prejudiciously found me guilty, right, just because I'm involved with the wreck, don't mean I am, unless you're using malice. So no. Now, the judge didn't let me ask him, does he have malice towards me either, right? Which then he's under oath, right? I didn't even think of that because I never heard of that, right? I'm trying to sue the officer for not doing this job, right? And violate my civil rights, which is what, again, that was about. He used my disability, which he didn't understand, to make it my fault, right? And it's not. I only have problems with one eye anyway, and that's the right eye. I was turning left, so I used the left eye there. But there again, like I said, two cars were in front of me, Officer Martin, when I started turning, right? But I was going slower. I even stopped when the light turned yellow and was still in my lane. And see, she's got a shorter lane than I did. And if she swerves into my lane because of the other person, she hit me, all right? And that's true with any left hand turn. You can pull out so far and be behind someone, and they go, but you got to stay where you're at. That's what happened. And I'll never forget it, Officer Martin, to the day you die. Of natural causes, hopefully. That's not a threat. You all die here. You're all following Satan here. Enough to die. And my only warning to you is beware, what goes around comes around. That's karma, policeman. It's a bitch. With Satan, there's karma. It don't have to be of God, right? So that's just warning you, not threatening you. There's a difference, right? I'm not threatening you with no violence, right? I'm warning you about karma now, right? Because I told you there was something wrong there. I even tried to take you to court to get the money I needed to pay off my truck, right? Because I knew it wasn't paying off, silly, right? I know. And don't tell me Judge Michael didn't seem suspicious when Judge Roxanne is the one who should have pulled the case. I know that. They sent me a little letter telling me that. I know. And see, you can't do that either, Judge Michael. You can't intervene, right? If Judge Roxanne will be fair and impartial and you done made up your mind, right? That's bias, right? That violates my civil rights as well. That means you might be a crooked judge, right? In my opinion. No. If I know Judge Roxanne was supposed to pull it and you didn't let her do it, right? Maybe she would hear the case fairly and impartially, right? And you knew it, so you took over the case from her. That ain't right either. That's bias. I don't even know you, or were you the same judge in Garden City? I don't remember. That was a long time ago. But if it is you, maybe you had the malice, right, against me. Like I said, I've been all over Europe, right? And they don't care if you get a little naked at night or something, right? And you can't really tell. But there again, I'm in a hot damn trailer, not getting no damn money, and stuck there because no one wants to help me. Not even my family and friends, right? Sometimes. But you forgive them and move on, like I said. That don't make me want to hurt them or kill them. I just needed help and they didn't give me none, okay? People do that too sometimes. But like Jesus said, they don't understand what I'm going through, maybe. And so I try to explain it. That's all I can do, right? And see, Christian fellowship was about Pastor Davis, not Jesus. Jesus. Those are two different things, right? And he's teaching a male Jesus and knows, if he's read the whole Bible, I doubt that. I don't know, right? But if, like me, he's read the whole thing, there's references to kings with female breasts, right? In Isaiah 60:16, right? And not only does John call Jesus the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, he mentions that at the opening in chapter 1, right? Now, if you don't want to believe it, that's between you and God, right? And Jesus. If you don't care about it, maybe they do. That's why you're going to hell with Satan. He's tricking you and dragging you down with him, as they say, right? Now, if someone is drowning and you're trying to save them and they start fighting you, right? Whose fault is it if you have to let them go and drown, right? Theirs. You can only reach out to try and help somebody. If they don't want your help, then you still do what you can until you can't help them, and they prove they want to keep going down. Now that time ain't came yet though either, and I still can help if you to understand why if Jesus is androgynous and you're saying he's the male, he can't even come back even if you want him to. Right? You're worshiping the wrong image of God, cause Emperor Constantine and the Orthodox. I ain't saying there ain't no reference to God as a man, right? But there are also references where it says, I'm God and not a man, right? God I lo is, right? And you seem to have a problem with that, Christians, Jews, in saying it. And then you're delaying his return. I don't know, right? What that means. What would you feel, like I said, if you have both attributes of male and female in your body and you know it, but no other man wants to deal with it, but a few. John the Beloved and Divine, for one. Paul did. Even the gospel writers, when Jesus is talking about loving your father or mother more than me, you're not worthy of me, also your sons or daughters, right? But the male and female are one in Christ Jesus. That's both. Just as there's two genders in your mind, though with Jesus there's three. And the angels who sin are also in that image, right? And that's why it's in the gene pool at all. They had sex with the daughters of men. And they're lying and creating false images to hide it. Making you think they're masculine or feminine like us, right? When that's not the truth, I know. And even Satan's ministers know Jesus, right? And one of them even tried to cast out a demon in Jesus' name, Paul's name, right? And see, demon said, I know Jesus and I know Paul, but who are you? Damn. And it vexed him. Right. You gotta be careful with some of this stuff, right? Now, I understand, though, that you want self-protection against those who have a gun, right? I ain't saying that's wrong, all right? But no one should be shooting me for going into a nail salon, right? Even if me and the girl went into the bathroom or not, right? Which you said she didn't. So why did I black out? What was the reason? I don't know. Were we arguing about something or something? And you just shot me anyway? You gotta tell me why. I don't remember. I don't even know if you hit me over the head or shot me in the head, right? But I know you could do either or. And that's just an assassination attempt or a murder attempt, right? You can't murder me over a misdemeanor. mm-hmm. Either. But get with the program or don't, right? Well, then why did I lose an hour of time and miss my movie? And have to go see Arctic Dogs, right? I even remembered the movie I was supposed to see, right? And the one I seen instead. I ain't forgot none of that. That's the problem with blocking out one of the two witnesses. That might not work how you want it to work. And I still got a job to do for God, even if you don't understand it. Uh-oh. You can't kill a man with a mission from God, like Bart. I know. Though another point is I might still have things to do, and it ain't my time yet as well. Whatever you're doing to black me out. Or cause me to stay in the store an extra hour that I should have been, right? It's one thing, too, if I don't know, but if I do and you still deny it, you're lying. Not only are you lying, you're denying. Right? You can't face what you did. And you know if I raised, I was healed as well. I know. Even if you use the weapon like a gun or a shotgun, which are big in Georgia, whatever. I was unarmed too, I know. You can't shoot an unarmed man, I know. Plus, that wouldn't fit the injury pattern I have anyway. Unless Jesus healed it to the point to make it look like I was just in a car wreck. Then he healed everything else, didn't he? He did. Even if I was shot through with bullets, unlike in Ninja 3 The Domination, where the ninja rose again and was shot all to hell with shotgun blast. And I saw that. You saw that. But how did Jesus rise from the dead? After the spear wound, after the beating of the back, right? After perhaps even being raped while they were holding him, right? You don't know what happened, right? And some men would hit a hermaphrodite, if you know what I mean, right? Some men would hit that. They don't care what they have sex with, right? So that's another form of domination, and sometimes how the Romans would try to control a leader, and then if they wouldn't submit to the power of Rome, they would rape them as well. That's why rape is still going on today, even in war-torn countries. Or again, they were talking about some kind of rapist today on ABC's ticker. I don't know. The pillowcase rapist, they called him, right? I guess he put a pillowcase over their head. I've seen something like that on the SUV as well, SVU as well. I know that. And see, just because a child comes in there to me and I'm her stepdad, at the time, thought mean I would try to have sex with her. But I would try to figure out what's going on. Yes. Why is she in there with me? She's supposed to be in there with her mom. Now, in both stories I'm making up, if one, she's near the bathroom and I get her into the living room, then She still got to walk to the toilet, idiot. And I might have to take off her underwear to help her do that. And only if she don't go to the bathroom right away, which, like I said, once you pull off the underwear, she can walk to the toilet. And not remembering something ain't lying about the details. You can make up whatever you have to guess why you were blacked out. You can't black me out if I don't do nothing wrong either. And in your opinion, And the whole point there, right? Then you're playing God, right? Which means you're really being the devil. Because there's only one God, right? And you're not it. And it made us all. We're all creatures, even Jesus a little bit. So he's the firstborn of every creature. And Thomas said, my Lord and my God, right? He can also become two other people, can you? He can metamorph and even morphed a little bit until they were ready to recognize him at the end of explaining himself through the scriptures to them, right? I know he used it at least Isaiah 53 and Psalms 22. He might have also opened up their full understanding of the sin in Eden, right? Now, the thing is, you got to use the old and the new is saying both too. That God's all. It doesn't mean he's not male at all. When he says he is God and no man, right? But what it does mean, right, is he's not fully male or female. The only way you can say that is if you're both, right? And then you're neither as well. You can't make graven image of male or female to represent an androgynous God, can you? No. Nope. And all the church is telling you he's male. That's a huge mistake. And that's a huge sin, right? They're not even telling you his correct form, though they have a form of godliness, they're denying the power thereof, right? They're focused on the wrong form. They're wrong. Men do this to dominate women too. Oh, I was made first and you were made last, right? That's what they say, right? But Jesus is the first and the last, right? You're not anymore. Adam was. Moses might have been, right? Jesus was. And Isaiah knew something about them. That's 4 witnesses, right? In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established, right? You're forgetting that. All I need is 2 people to say something similar, right? Not one. But I'm one of 2 too. And Elijah met Elisha. But after he done certain things, right? For the Lord. So we know it's at least 3 years or so when he comes on the scene, right? Before he fixes the drought. And again, right? He races the king back to the palace on foot. And beat the king back. Because it started raining. And the rain, like with Pharaoh, drowned the chariot. They couldn't go no further, right? See, a chariot with a king and a horse-strong chariot slows down the horse, right? Especially if you try to go through reeds or a marsh area, or even if you're crossing the sea, right? That's the problem. Mud mucks up a chariot wheel. And you can only go so far anyway. Though they crossed, right, fully, I know. But Pharaoh couldn't, I know. Because of the chariots, yes. Now, sometimes you just can't handle the truth, can you, right? But if you're worshiping the wrong image of God, right, and it's neutral by being both, right, it's trying to hook both the male and the female, and Satan is lying to you that he was a male, you're believing him over God, right? And no man is perfect. David said that. No. There's none that doeth good, Pastor Davis, not even you, right? Lloyd Ray. And you're proving you don't want to do good. But deceiving your own church, I know. Pastor Thomas, too. He's your little stoolie, as is Pastor Payton, right? He's promoting your doctrine, not Jesus's doctrine. That's what I'm trying to learn. What Jesus showed the disciples before he left, right? That's something different. And the Gnostics are talking about this too. They mentioned the rape of Eve by the powers, right? By the eons, right? That includes Satan. That includes Satan. He is the rebel God from the start, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But see, they make a mountain out of a molehill and a molehill out of a mountain. Now, are these bad things happening because of certain people? Yeah, they're off their rocker for a reason, though, right? Your kids are bullies, right? I'm not saying that means I will pick up a gun, right? But some people still, like me, who are bullied, knows better than to shoot somebody. What does those kids have to do with it anyway? Nothing. I know that, right? But this jerk off don't, right? Even if I know it and I'm mentally ill, you don't have the right to take away my right to bear arms if you let the military do it too. And that's the point, right? You can train an 18-year-old to also, like in the army, use the gun only in self-defense purposes, right? Now, with the army, we can shoot first sometimes, especially if we know there's aggression going on, like in Ukraine, right? We know Russia is trying to take over Ukraine, and we know why. They want the port of Mariupol. They might need that for their economy, I guess, right? It was once a part of Russia, too, like I said, right? Ukraine used to be a part of Russia. Now they're trying to be their own state, right? Well, that causes a problem for Putin and his men, right? And his cabinet or whatever he has, right? I'm not saying they're right to invade Ukraine to get back the territory, right? But they are. We know it. We're not even really helping them, right? We're trying to give them a little bit of money, right? But only what we can spare. That's not any better. That's still lukewarm, right? If you're gonna help someone, help them, right? Because all this is delaying how quickly Russia will take over the country and the part they won't. They might even let them have the rest eventually. Exactly. They're trying to get probably a certain part of eastern Ukraine, right? It's not the west they want. I know, right? I know what they want. So do you. The port cities, right? You don't? I'm not even a person on the cabinet, never will be. That's not the problem, right? But I know better. I was in the military too. I've read The Art of War too, right? And by this, Putin is winning. By this, Putin is winning. And you're letting him win. And you're letting him win. By doing only minimally what you can do, right? I know that. And see, I don't even have $40 left for the rest of the month. Maybe 75, maybe 75. Now I got credit cards, but that's not paying off that bill. That's just staying the same, right? So I did pay off one card. I can hopefully by next year pay off another card, right? And that'll leave me with just 6, right? So I had 8, right? Again, some people have to live off of credit card debt. Some people can't afford medical. And that's what I mean. And it used to be all a veteran would have to do is go down to the ER and submit the paperwork to the VA and they would take care of it, right? Now we can't do that anymore. Now we all got to rely on Medicare or Medicaid or Humana or some kind of supplementary, or Medicare C, right? Instead of A and B, right? I got at least A and B. And I'm just giving my opinion too, which we all can, right? Whether you agree with me or not, whether I'm right in your mind or not, right? But there's a reasons our forefathers did the right to bear arms. Yes, there is. I know. And it's these crazy kids, right? These kids who take it personal, the harassment, right? The bullying, right? But if I was going to kill somebody, I would have done it by now, right? I ain't did that either. Nope. I don't even own a gun to pull it on someone. I don't want one, right? Live and let live. Not live and let die. Best you try to shoot someone and they're not doing nothing wrong, right? But these children don't know what I know about the Lord, so they're in the mix, kind of, right? And it's not the Lord who don't care, it's Satan who don't care, and you don't care with him, right? By the way, Satan is teaching you hatred, indifference, and not to care. God still cares and will never murder people. He's not the murderer from the beginning, Satan is, right? Satan did what he did to murder Adam and Eve. And even Moses said of rape is as murder. Read your Bible. Don't follow men, follow God. Even if you got to separate yourself from men for about 3 damn years, come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord. Or you're not really helping nobody, not even them, or yourself. They're going to teach you what they want you to know and think is important to them, right? That's wrong too. You can't do that. Even Satan used scripture to try to justify talking to Jesus and jumping off the Temple Mount. But Jesus knew better, right? Even if he ascended after his death into heaven, right? I know. And that's called one of the prophecies involves Melchizedek and putting his enemies under his feet. I know. And if you're being an enemy of Jesus, whether you're Jewish, Christian, or Muslim, you're going to be put under his feet. Now, like I said, Jesus tries to work with everyone even while you're sitting, right? Satan is trying to control you in the sitting, trick you in the sitting, and to not forgive yourself for your mistake, right? He don't want you even admitting the mistake, because then, like me, you might be bullied for, having to deal with your stepdaughter or not, right? When there's no evidence anything happened, whether I did or didn't, right? Or whether she did or didn't, right? Coming there to me. You can't selectively do things with a child with no evidence left behind, right? There would be at least DNA. Even if I told you I could have licked her one time, there's a reason for that, right? That would leave DNA on her, right? And in 94, guess how long DNA had been out? Since about 87. No. So that's why I wouldn't lick her. I knew that. No, you did. Yeah. But what I might have had to do, and like I told you before, is to check her if she didn't pee, right? If she stayed in the living room instead of going into the bathroom, right? Now, the only reason she would do that is either she done peed, right? Which is why you smelled it to make sure she didn't. And I'm in there till around 11 o'clock, and they go to bed around 8 or 9, right? Ain't that normal for a 4-year-old? Yeah. Yep. So I'm not blaming no one. I'm not even blaming Daphne. I'm not even blaming the child, right? But I'm not trying to do nothing sexual with her. Not even if I'm trying to smell her to make sure she didn't pee or something, right? And see, like in school, you ever have the little girl stick out her tongue to you, or a boy? When they're in first to third grade sometimes, right? And, well, wonder where they get that from, their parents. Their parents. Why? They do it when they're changing the child, right? To entertain the child. And I swear to you, if she said Grandma showed her that, that's why. That's why. It's not that I'm doing anything Grandma wouldn't have done either while trying to make sure she didn't pee herself or something, right? Well, the underwear could have been dry. I don't know. But you remove the underwear, like I said, because you're in the living room and she's in there with you, right? She has to walk to the toilet, fool. You can't do that with underwear around your knees or ankles, right? Right. That's no different than tying someone up, right? Right. I don't do that either, by the way. I don't practice S&M in secret. I'm pretty much a straight arrow, right? I do go down on the female, and you might say I'm a little lesbian for that, I guess. Whatever. Some men don't know. Right? They only think the penis and the vagina matters, right? For the woman's pleasure. Right. But not according to the Song of Solomon. She even has his fruit in her mouth. Wonder what that means. Figure that one out. She's comparing him to an apple tree. And he's better than the young men. And she's talking about putting his fruit in her mouth. Palate. That's not just the opening. That's what some would call deep throat. If you've seen the movie. But you don't read it, and they don't speak it in English as they would speak it in Hebrew to English either. Hebrew don't say sex, they say to know, yada. Or new, right? Which new is used in chapter 3. In chapter 4, they knew they were naked. Not just saw. They knew. Using a sexual metaphor there. And we came to know good and evil with who? One of us. One of us. See, he became one of us too, right? In human form. And if you can't say this, you're being blinded by him that he was in Eden when the Bible says he was in two different places, especially in Ezekiel 28 and 31. And in 31, it's talking about trees. And in Daniel, it talks about Nebuchadnezzar seeing a tree. And Daniel tells him, King, you are that tree. Mm-hmm. And the watchers. See, the bad guys. See, Jesus too is a witness to God, right? He's not a watcher. No, he's not a watcher. But the fallen angels are called watchers because they want to punish us, and because they know God forgives unconditionally, right? Just as his love for you is unconditional, so is his forgiveness. He knows who's manipulating you is the rebel Satan, right? The rebel angel. Mm-hmm. And while you're sinning, Christ died for you to cover your sins, really, in a way, to help you not only confess them, but to not do them again, right? That's what repentance is, right? If I'm only around one little 4-year-old girl, not saying before that either, but at that time, right? I don't do that with 4-year-old girls again, right? Because I wasn't expecting her to wake me up if she wake me up, right? No one does. In fact, I'm more surprised if she were to wake me up, why Daphne wouldn't walk her to the bathroom because she could wake me up, right? And be standing at the door if I was to wake up and make sure she went there safely, right? Now, if she started going into the living room towards me, right, and leaves her sight, all she might can do is try to use the mirror to peer around the corner or something, right? That's what I mean. But then she's not stopping her either, is she, right? I don't know. I'm making this up. See, that's the point. This is made up, right? All of it that where I'm guessing what my stepdaughter could have done with me, right? By the way. That part is. The other things aren't truth. The survival of the wreck, the survival of the fall. And it's 3 stories too. It's 3 stories too. And then you got the story in Acts 20, verse 8 through 10, right? He also fell from the 3rd loft or the 3rd story as he was listening to Paul preach. And like all preachers can put you to sleep, so can Paul. Paul can be long-winded too. And maybe not get to the point sometimes too, right? And then sometimes. Or he's preaching on so much, you just get tired and fall asleep. Okay, Paul, I can't take this more. And then you're dead on the ground, right? And he has to revive you. Ain't that a little embarrassing too? Right? Ain't that wrong kind of too? Right? But you forgive it. No. And the forgiveness ain't for you, right? The victimizer is for the victim, right? So they can stop the bad thing they want to do back to you, right? Because they're also not to seek revenge. But that's where Satan has karma on your butt. Right? And that's what I mean, right? Karma's a bitch. It comes around, goes around, right? And that's from Satan too, right? See, God can't punish you. That's why you can sin without no consequences, right? It won't harm you, even if you're doing evil. But Satan did what he did to cause us suffering, pain, for sin, for sin. But there again, I'm getting long-winded myself. I hate to put you to sleep again with my truth-telling, right? But you can't tell the truth with one scripture, right? That's why there are at least 66 books in the King James Version of the Bible. Mm-hmm. Now, the Catholics have 71, and the Ethiopians have 81, right? They have 10 more than them, right? Two. And they call themselves Orthodox Christians, right? But they also have the Book of Enoch, which they don't have, right? The Catholics, right? Mm-hmm. So that means they know they're lying. They know they're lying. But they don't know what to do about it, I guess. I mean, it's easier for men to think of God as a man, even if he's both, right? And I guess their theory is what it don't matter to us, right? I know. But it might matter if you think Jesus is returning as a man and he's both, right? That's why I'm trying to show you the girdle around the chest. That way you might recognize him, huh? Right. He has the girdle around the chest to conceal his female breast and appear like a man to men, right? Though he's not a man, right? As well. Mm-hmm. Nor a woman. When you're both, you're neither, right? You're neither Jew nor Gentile, bond nor free, male and female, right? You're not even male or female, right? Unless you make two more who talk to you in front of Peter, James, and John, or Abraham and Sarah to help her finally believe within a year later she would have Isaac, right? What if one of them was a pregnant woman, a Yolda, and her husband, Angel, went to Sodom at evening, right? Two showed up. One stayed with Abraham. Three appeared, right? To them all. Not just Abraham. And this was after Melchizedek appeared to him as well. And like Hebrews said, he gave tithes through Abraham, right? Levi wasn't even born until Jacob, right? And the priesthood wasn't established until Moses and Aaron, right? And guess who Elizabeth's cousin is? Mary. And guess what tribe they were of? Levi. And guess whose second lineage is in Luke, right? Mary's. And guess what? She was also Levite. See, a cousin is from two people who are related. Either a brother to a sister, two brothers, or two sisters, right? Exactly. That's what a cousin is, right? And the Bible uses both cousin and brother. Also for a believer, even if you're not related, yes, but when they're talking about his mother and brother being outside Catholics, right, they don't mean what you think they mean. And that becomes a false doctrine, a heresy, right? You heretics, right? But do I tell you you're a heretic too? And no, you won't listen to me? Yeah. I don't condemn you for being a heretic. You just make the wrong choice there. But I have to warn you of that, right? Whether you like it or not, whether you want to keep the doctrine or not, right? But you can, right? We don't know what Jesus's female side is called, right? She could be Mary too. But Mary Bell. Why Mary Bell? Bell is Lord. Bell and the Dragon, Catholics, right? Bell. Mary Bell means rebel from Bell. Told you that too before. But now the girl Mary Bell doesn't mean she's Mary Bell. She could be rebelling from the Lord too. I don't know. But I'm not going to guilt trip her. Right? I want someone who loves me, not just because I'm one of the two witnesses, which I told her and tried to explain to her in letters, right? See, this is all I talk about, Sheena Johnson. I don't talk about sex unless I'm explaining something about it. And I only tell people what I really do with women, which is why I pretend if I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, right? I go down, right? Down first, right? Then I make love, then I make love. Now, whatever you thought I was doing, sorry if I tricked you a little, but I was using my mouth on your body, right? And also sex, right? And the problem is you didn't tell me I couldn't, right? Before the sex. See, that's when you gotta tell me, right? And they might think I mean Sheena the comic book character. They don't know you. That's narcissism to think they even care about us, right? They don't. They keep telling us they don't. We know you don't, but we know who you're not carrying with. Satan, right? And he confuses us all in this, right? Even I had to learn this. I wasn't shown this automatically. I was kind of closed off to it too at first, right? Though I also understood it by my dream too, right? I saw one light on the throne, which is covered in John chapter 1, right? And that's why I knew, right? I was standing before the light of God on its throne in heaven. And that would probably be the first. To us, it's the third, right? Also, why I fell 3 stories, right? Coincidence? I think not. Like in The Mummy. How many coincidences do you have to see before you realize it's a sign, right? And see, I understand why the parents are mad. I'd be mad too if you shot my child, right? But I also tell my son, the reason they do that to you is you're resisting arrest. Let them cuff you and bring you in. You're better to be booked and later on released, right? Because they got to give you at least bail. And all they're going to do is put you in holding sometimes, right? Because you broke the law. You passed a bad 20, right? You're selling Lucy's on the street, right? You get arrested for that. You ain't watched Cops any, right? I used to watch Cops once in a while. And they got all kind of stuff now, right? They even got female cops, right? And the worry there is somebody on drugs can overpower a female before she gets her gun out and shoots them, right? I know. And sometimes the men have to use their guns, right? To calm these people down or stop them from attacking them, right? Now, if you can, shoulder wounds, arm wounds, you ain't got to shoot to kill either, though. Shoot him in the hand, right? So he can't fire the weapon, right? Shoot him in the arm so he drops the weapon, right? That's a non-lethal shot. But if you shoot him in the torso, you're going to kill him, right? Most people. Get it? Bye.